Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mark, and in this video I wanted to talk a little bit more on this grand solar flash that is coming towards the end of the year. And I wanted to also talk about the monoliths that are appearing around the planet. Had a very interesting conversation with my Pleiadian guide and even received some information from Gaia about what's happening regarding that. So make sure you listen to this entire video. I've got some really cool information on the monoliths. It's going to be a little bit later towards the end. So if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified when I release new videos. So the grand solar flash. I've had people reach out to me saying, you know, we've heard this before. Over the past few years, it's been, a few times. There's going to be this grand solar flash, and then the time comes, the time goes, and nothing really happens. Well, were we wrong on the date? Did we miss it? Did we jump timelines? Did something change? What's going on? So people don't have a whole lot of faith or trust that anything's going to happen. Well, I want to start out by saying that I would not have an expectation of standing outside on 12/21 and seeing anything physical regarding a flash. The grand solar flash means that we are going to be accepting very high frequency energy. This energy comes in from our central sun and is stepped down through the portal in our solar system, which is our sun. And these gamma rays, these high frequency photon particles come in and they activate our DNA. So we're not experiencing a flash of visible light. Okay, this energy is beyond the visible spectrum. So if you're looking for an actual light flash, it's probably something you're not going to see. Okay, so I wanted to throw that out there right there. What we want to do though is be able to look inside ourselves and hold the space to allow for our DNA to be activated by this energy. And this energy is increasing, and it's going to increase up until that point, in the next few weeks. And it's going to trigger activations within us. Now, I will say this, if we are present and we are meditating and we are holding space and we remain available to continue to actually be engaged in the acceptance of this energy, we can experience a flash. Now, it's not going to be an external flash. It's a flash that we're going to see, feel, or maybe even see in our meditation. I've had many times when I've been in meditation where I've had DNA activations and I've seen a flash of light. Okay, so if you want to experience that, do the work, do the breath work, do the channeled breathing, remain grounded, remain anchored, and make sure that your energy is moving up and down your body. Just be present and be available to accept this light, okay? And this is such a high frequency that it's gonna affect many people around the planet. Many are going to be activated. Many are not going to know what's happening. They're going to feel off. They're going to feel strange. But a lot of us know what's coming, so we have the ability to, again, stay present and just hold that space, not have any expectations on seeing anything visually. We just want to be able to hold space, be grounded, be anchored, and be present in our body. And as that DNA gets activated, we're going to have all sorts of cool experiences. So that's the best way to prepare for the solar flash. And I'd love to hear you guys, in the comments, what you're experiencing now when you get present and get into these meditations and do your channel breathing. If any of you are experiencing some of this high frequency light coming in, any sort of sensations, colors. I've had a lot of white, misty colors. I've had green, I've had violet. So that's what I'm experiencing right now. So go ahead and leave a comment. Love to hear from you. The monoliths. Okay, what's going on with these monoliths? Well, it's interesting because I had never seen the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, but about a year ago, all of a sudden it came into my awareness, and I'm like, I think it's time I really sit down and see this movie. And in that movie, which was, I believe it was made in the 60s, It was about the evolution of human consciousness. And there were monoliths that would appear very much like the monoliths that are appearing around the planet now, that would indicate an upcoming shift or evolution in the planet's consciousness, in humanity's consciousness. So right away when I saw these monoliths, I went right to that movie. And we know that the people that write these scripts, the creative forces behind these movies, behind, books, plays, they tap into a higher knowing. They tap into something, and they pull down information, and it ends up in a movie. Okay, so this was a very prime example of that situation. So these monoliths start appearing as we're heading to the end of 2020. It's been the craziest year in my life, and it just seems like it keeps getting crazier. The energy is just off the charts. Now we have these monoliths appear, and to me, it was a representation of just that, a jump in human consciousness. Now, where did they come from? So I reached out to my Pleiadian guide just a few days ago, and I was actually able to connect with Gaia as well. And this is what I was told. So the monoliths were created by humans, okay, by human hands. Now, these are humans that are of a higher consciousness. They are connected. If you call them light workers, but they have received information on building these in certain points around the planet. And last I checked, I think there's 3 or 4 of them. So I wanted to know, why the locations, why are they specific? And it has to do with bringing awareness to the Earth's grid. There's a 5D grid that is currently in the process of being aligned on the planet. Okay, let's just say it's resyncing up. And I say resyncing up because this was a grid that was active eons ago. And I'm talking when Lemuria, the Lemurian civilizations, the Atlantis civilization, back in those days when there were 5D civilizations here on the planet, this grid was active. Now this grid is in the process of realigning, and these monoliths are bringing awareness to these anchor points of this grid. Now, if I go back to that movie, okay, that movie actually planted seeds. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen it or know about it. If you don't, go ahead and research it because it's really, really interesting how this all ties in. So it's planted seeds. Okay, so now what's happening is those that are seeing this on the news or seeing these monoliths on the internet, it's kind of they're remembering seeing that somewhere before, and it's bringing this up-leveling of consciousness into their awareness. Okay, and that's the whole point of these monoliths. And the more people that make that connection, the more it's going to assist with Gaia's 5D grid aligning and beginning to manifest. Okay, what I got from Gaia was that this is Gaia's, essentially her light body that is going to be activated here, and these are these anchor points to essentially mesh it in so that it can activate and light up. So we are here to help in that process. And when we see these structures, these monoliths in these areas with the seeds that were planted from this movie, it helps again to bring awareness and to bring energy to help us to anchor it. It brings it into our consciousness, and then we're able to better anchor this light and ascend, with the planet to the point where the light body, Gaia's light body, can activate. And that is the 5D grid. That's what's going on with that. Just very, very fascinating. So what we want to do is we want to, obviously continue to ground these frequencies, activate them with us, and ground them into Gaia. These monoliths are just such an integral part from an awareness perspective, okay, for the collective. For those that have had that seed planted, these monoliths will trigger these activations, okay, which will allow them to ground more energy and, in essence, assist the rest of us with activating Gaia's light body, in this whole ascension process here that we're involved with. So, and with that, the other thing that I was told, which was really, really interesting, was that these frequencies that are coming in now, we're starting to get into the frequencies as this grid is being anchored back to the Lemuria and the Atlantis frequencies. So what we're going to see happen is these civilizations that have been long gone are going to start to reemerge here into our reality through us. We are going to start to remember actually being here and living in those times. Those memories, that they're going to start to open up and be available to us. And as that happens, we are going to be able to bring through that knowing. Those things that we knew back then are going to start to come through now as this 5D grid anchors around the planet. So it is such an amazing time. I wanted to share that with you guys. Go ahead and leave a comment if you had any thoughts on this. Love to hear from you. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and that notification bell. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, guys, love and light. Thank you.